Hi, everyone. This is the Elev8 Project Podcast. I'm Brian, and this is episode number 3 of season 2. So if you're just joining us in episode number 3, season 2 is about rebuilding and revitalizing my YouTube channel, the Elev8 Project. So this is my journey and kind of talking about week by week what I've been doing, what I've been going through, and how it's going. So the strategy for rebuilding this YouTube channel are a few things. One is creating a podcast. So this is revitalizing the podcast for the Elev8 Project. And again, going week by week. Number 2 is the introduction of live streams. So again, we haven't really done live streams in the past. It's going to kind of help really just shake up my thoughts and feelings about how things are going, and also reactions to certain releases, specifically when it comes to tech and productivities for creators and for people working from home, really remote workers or anything like that. So if you fit in that group, check in, especially if you're thinking about starting your own YouTube channel, because revitalizing this channel is a few things. One, I had this choice of either starting a new channel and just starting fresh and revitalizing the channel. So revitalizing the channel was, I would say, I don't want to say difficult decision, but it was a struggle that I had because I knew it would be a more difficult path, because the YouTube algorithm or YouTube has kind of set the tone for the videos, and now it's seen this gap for years of a new video. So it doesn't really know where I'm at. However, it has my old videos still kind of attracting a certain group, and how that is still producing in views and watch time. So I knew that it may be a little bit more difficult. So I might be doing some testing. It's just going to be depending on my bandwidth to actually start another channel and just kind of see, and not the same strategy. Obviously, that would be a lot to do podcast and video for this channel and a video for that channel, and live streams for this channel and live streams for that channel. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think I'm going to start that new channel, and I won't let you know what the channel is so I don't influence the subscriber count or the watch time, and kind of take you behind the scenes, just kind of compare this channel revitalization and seeing how subscribers and watch hours and those type of things versus starting a brand new channel with a completely different niche. So the decision was because I knew I still wanted to talk to the same group of people. Someone that loves tech, someone that is looking for productivity, for creators, people who are working for home, maybe even thinking about starting a YouTube channel. So the strategy behind this is really to revitalize this channel is create more, probably more so than starting a new channel. So this is probably, when this is released, this will be 2 weeks in. And the work that I've been doing thus far has been doing a lot of different live streams, and I'm going to be sticking to one main video a week, either on a review or something focused on tech and productivity. So last week, or this week technically, I would have released a video review for the Insta360 Go Ultra, and I released episode number 2 and episode number 1 the Saturday the week before that, and then now we're moving into episode number 3, live streams. So this is going to be my strategy, is every Saturday will be a dedicated live stream at a specific time. So my goal is between 7:30 and 7:45 a.m. And it's going to be called the Elev8 Project Espresso Hour. And this is to kind of take a look back on the back end of my YouTube studio and seeing the analytics and see what the week has progressed. So I wanted to do that live so everyone can see kind of the update week by week, seeing progress and really tackling things that maybe didn't work and tackle things that did work and learn from it. And it's basically seeing what can we stop doing? What can I start doing? And what can I do more of or do differently? Something that I can start doing more of. So yeah, this week was actually a fairly, one of the worries of the strategy of doing these videos to revitalize the channel was burnout, like specifically burnout. And I talk about that a little bit in episode number 2. So hopefully, if you didn't listen to episode number 2, make sure to go back and check that out. And episode number 2 was just like the creator reset. How would I reset myself knowing what it took to get 1,000 subscribers and beyond? Now we're sitting at the time of this recording around 2,730 subscribers. And knowing that even one video a week can kind of be overwhelming when you have other things like a 9-to-5, or maybe if you're starting another business on top of that, and maybe you're supplementing and using YouTube as an outlet or a business opportunity to create more or extra revenue. So even one video a week was overwhelming. So the strategy here was that the podcast is kind of an easier type of recording because it is focused on audio. I am making a video version. So obviously if you're watching this on YouTube and on Spotify, you'll have the video version. And that's just more experience and more time in front of the camera, just because I haven't had that much time in front of the camera in a long time. In the recent years, I've had more time behind the camera, which is kind of a different change. And so the podcast is almost like an opportunity to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a time for me to kind of review on the fly and not worry about the editing, not worried about a script, not worrying about video angles and doing multiple shots and multiple angles. Just an opportunity for me to just chat, talk about a few points that are on my mind that I have notated here on my screen, and just get some of my thoughts on the podcast. So that for me is press record, and again, minor editing, and then upload. No big deal. And then the live streams portion is, again, something similar. The live stream for the Saturday morning, again, kind of gets me motivated, gets me inspired to kind of take a look and learn and see where I'm at, and having everyone a part of the journey. That live stream, again, is because it's live. There's things that are going to go wrong. The last live stream, my audio wasn't set up properly. I think the first, 17 minutes, it sounded like I was far away because I didn't integrate this mic or the mic on my camera. And luckily enough, I had someone listening or viewing on the live stream that let me know. It's like, hey, we can't hear you, or it sounds like you're far away. And then 17 minutes into that live stream, finally fixed my audio, and then we were good to go. And the reason why I want to do that now, because I know that there isn't going to be a lot of people on the live stream. So as that gets a little bit more consistent and there's more people watching the live stream, I'll be better and better and better. And so the live stream again, once the live stream is done, it's literally no editing. It gets processed and uploaded, and it's on the YouTube channel. I think the only thing that I've really edited was just the start time, because typically I'll have some sort of timer for 3 to 5 minutes. And then when I start, I'm good to go. So I'll usually just edit just that countdown out. So when people click on it after the live stream, they can go right into the video. The other live streams that I'm going to be doing now, it's not going to happen every single week, is just some reactions to things. So last week I did a reaction video or live stream just about the new Oakley Meta Vanguards, which are sport smart glasses, and just had some thoughts about it, especially as someone that may be interested in creating content for cycling or running or a fitness channel. Now, that interests me because one of my passions when I'm not behind my desk and doing YouTube and 9 to 5 and all the rest of it is cycling. Cycling is something that I've gone into in the last 9 months, 10 months. Oh, sorry, like a year now, and absolutely enjoying it. And it really taken over fitness for me versus running or lifting weights or doing anything like that. I'd rather go for a 2-hour bike ride, enjoy time for a coffee ride with friends and bike rides with my family. So that was very interesting for me. So that also is because I do record content for cycling for a podcast and a different channel that's called Last Wheel Cycling, which is a podcast that I'm doing with a friend of mine. So if you're interested in that and you're into cycling and not just listening or viewing on my YouTube journey, you can check that out. Last Wheel Cycling. It's about a beginner cyclist, which is myself and my friend that is doing the podcast with me, who's been cycling for over 20 years. A lot of experience and really helped me from a really rookie cyclist all the way into cycling with him close to his level. I shouldn't say close because he's really out of this world when it comes to speed and climbing and fitness on the bike. So yeah, that's the strategy. That's the strategies: create more, revitalize and connect new subscribers with my current subscribers and build from there. I think the challenge right now, as I go week by week, and which I'll update every Saturday, is getting remonetized. So during this time of gap where I was monetized, and the channel was actually still growing in subscribers, and I don't know if something happened to the algorithm, and not saying that I would have not revitalized it if it was still monetized. The average views went down, which then in turn dropped my watch hours. So I dropped below the minimum 4,000 watch hours over a period of 365 days, which then got me demonetized. So it's going to be interesting because depending on what happened, and which is they added these new challenges. I shouldn't say challenge, barriers to entry. And if I take a look, there are 2 milestones that I'm looking at. The first milestone is you need to hit at least 500 subscribers and 3 video uploads in the last 90 days. So that was the other thing, is the reason why I was getting demonetized as well, is because I didn't upload a video in the last 90 days or 3 months. And one of the following: 3,000 watch hours or 3 million shorts views in the last 90 days. And the 3,000 watch hours is for the last 365 days. The other milestone, which kind of coincide for me because my subscriber count currently is at 2,730, is the 4,000 public watch hours and 10 million public short views. So those are the criterias to get remonetized. So the challenge right now and the goal is to get monetized as soon as possible. And hopefully my goal is before December 31st is to get the watch hours up, because once we hit the watch hours, then we're kind of good to go. And then of course we need to apply, and then we can move from there. So I think that's also the other reason why my strategy of doing live streams is because every minute that I'm live and we have a viewer, that goes towards those watch hours. So that's a huge opportunity. And honestly, live streams is something that I've always wanted to do because my background, I've done a lot of virtual presentations at a professional level, and I've done live presentations, just never live presentations for YouTube on topics that maybe people didn't want to hear, and seeing possible negative comments, which is okay. So I wanted to challenge myself there. So that being said, first couple of weeks have been good. As this is the third episode, we'll say we're going into the third week or 2.5 weeks. And the content themes that I'm going to be aiming for, actually, let's back up. Let's talk about the niche and audience focus. So when I first started the YouTube channel, is a little bit all over the place just because of where the YouTube channel started and where it was growing and where I was finding I was bringing the biggest impact to the viewers. So when I first started on my journey, it was really about gaining experience as we were moving into this virtual world of presenting and video conference as the world shut down and everyone was working from home during the pandemic. And because I've been working from home prior to the pandemic, just not 100% solely focused on virtual presentations and working on Zoom and Teams and WebEx, etc., I wanted to share some tips and tricks when it comes to virtual webcams and lighting and just the simple basics just for people to stand out because they don't have the same opportunity to stand out like they do in person. And as things kind of transition, I started upgrading my video gear, moving from webcams to a mirrorless camera to interchangeable lenses to pretty much the setup that I have now, which is doing this video. I'm shooting from an A7 IV A7 IV with a 24 millimeter lens, GM lens. I think it is 1.4. And the audio is through a Shure SM7B that is connected to a Rodecaster Duo. So definitely completely upgraded and not necessarily for everyone. And what I did notice, though, is that a lot of people were interested in upgrading to different types of gear, specifically mics, cameras, and the audio interface. So there's been a few audio interfaces that I've used, Focusrite, the Rodecaster Pro, and then, of course, now I have the Rodecaster Duo. I still have the Rodecaster Pro, and that is being still used in a videography company that I did start through the pandemic and as we got out of the pandemic. And that's kind of where the YouTube channel went dormant. So the niche or the focus, the audience that I was trying to help and serve went from professionals that wanted to enhance their online or virtual presentations online presence to camera gear, to tech gear, to content creation, starting a YouTube channel, and kind of dropped off from there. So I had these, 3 or 4 different types of niches and not necessarily focus on creating content for that one particular audience. So I decided to really tighten up and shift towards tech. So still doing tech reviews and productivity for creators. I think everyone is a creator when they're online. If they're watching YouTube and they want to put something online, and not necessarily YouTube, but let's say for their work, as they try to create things for their social media or presenting virtual presentations, those type of things. And when I mean virtual presentations, let's say they are working from the West and then they're presenting to the East and you can't do it in person. And so having, again, the best, or with what you have, with lighting and the camera that you're using and the audio quality, so that receiver, whoever, it's that your boss or an audience or anything like that, can hear you clearly with the information that you want to give. And I put a caveat there: remote for creators working from home or remote workers, because we somewhat are moving into this remote worker generation, just in case something does happen. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of professions where you do have to be in person for obviously a lot of different reasons. And more so is going either working from home on your laptop. And if that is all that you have and you're traveling a lot, yeah, 100%. Now, if you know you're working from home and you get a work laptop, to make it easier, there's a lot of options for an external monitor, keyboard, mouse, desk, a lot of different ways to make it more comfortable. And so that's why the tech reviews or product reviews really kind of make sense. Now, I also going to have kind of desk setups, behind the scenes, those type of videos. So my podcast setup, my YouTube video setup, and those type of videos just show behind the scenes where even if you, for me right now, downsized. I had a bigger desk. I had a slightly bigger office. I had a lot of things more spread out. Now I've really tightened up. I don't want to say minimalist. I have a smaller desk. I have a smaller footprint within the room and need to be more organized in how I set up and break down my video gear, not only for when I'm shooting YouTube or the podcast, but when I actually need to have this equipment ready to go on a professional shoot or when I have to go for shoot for my videography business. So it's a lot of those things that come into mind that, again, if you're looking to be a creator or you are a creator yourself and you're trying to streamline, I'm more so focused on the beginner. So someone that is getting into it, because with the cameras that I have, you can definitely go even further. So I have a Sony FX3, Sony FX30, and then for a lot of people going into the Sony FX6 or even the high-end Canon series, and even further and further through that camera rabbit hole. And so I think I can speak to a lot of the challenges and a lot of the reasons why I made certain decisions. I actually started with the Sony ZV-E10, which worked really well for me for YouTube, and transitioned to the Sony FX30. I actually had both those cameras running so I could have multiple angles. I had one for my A cam, which became my FX30. Then I had my B cam, which is the Sony ZV-E10. And then as I really progressed and did a lot of favors for other people to video different types of shoots, sports, dance, real estate, I moved into something that had better low light capability, which is where the FX3 came into my videography kit. And lighting, I noticed more and more, even though I had these amazing cameras, lighting was actually even more important to get the picture quality that I was aiming for. So hey, we're going back here. So audience focus. Yeah, I'm looking to serve and help people as a beginner creator, going through the different tech, and again, people working from home. Demographic can be anyone from 25 to 55. I would say more so 35 to 55, more specifically, where there is more disposable income for a lot of the recommendations that I have. Not saying that, hey, a 25-year-old, if you're between 25 and 35, that some of this would be relevant to you. I think it's just more so if this is more of your interest or something else. I feel that more of like 35 and up are like the similar interest of getting a really nice mic, a camera that isn't gaming. I'm just not a gamer. I'm sure if I was a gamer, I'd probably get similar cameras, similar mics to enhance obviously my video quality and audio quality and all those type of things, and just don't resonate that well. More so, this reason why I'm doing the podcast as well as the videos per week and the live stream is kind of going through if you're similar to the journey that I'm going through. So this kind of gives me an opportunity just to be real, kind of for the podcast, and solve specific problems. And right now, the problem is to avoid burnout, but still be able to create more content. And I think as a beginner YouTuber or a beginner content creator, regardless if it's YouTube or Instagram or Facebook Lives or anything like that, the challenge is burning out. There is going to be a point you're doing so much and you want to get it as fast as possible, and you end up burning out. And the live streams is just give me an opportunity again to kind of reflect back. And in episode number 2, I said, hey, if I miss a video or a live stream or a podcast episode, I'm not going to sweat it too much. In regards to the themes and pillars, I've kind of explained that. Some how-tos, product reviews. Also talk about creator mindset stories. So there is some things that I noticed that for me not to burn out, I talked about cycling earlier, is to be able to take a break out of the office, to get out of the house, to do a little bit more than just sitting in front of my screen and strategizing and thinking about what to create, when to create, how to create it. And that was literally just going for a bike ride. And it was just refreshing, especially when you have a tough week. For me, I have 2 kids. My wife is also a professional, and trying to balance those things in the house is one of those things where there is always a solution, and there's an easier path, and sometimes there's a more difficult path. And so behind the scenes also, I think is important. I think that's why I'm trying to minimize a lot of my setups and how everything kind of fits as I revitalize the YouTube channel. Video format, I think the only thing, so there's still going to be some sort of bullet point of things that I want to talk about when I'm doing the podcast, when I'm doing the live stream. Specifically the set live stream for the espresso hour. And the video is more of a scripted, and I mean scripted by its bullet point and aligning what I'm recording to a script, or to align it so I'm able to tell that story in a shorter period of time for, let's say, a product review. So for that one video will be more scripted. Most of my focus for revitalizing this channel is all long form. So podcast, long form, going from 15 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on the topic, and as things progress over time. The video, long form, in when I'm saying long form, anything longer than 60 seconds. So there's shorts that are short form and there's long form. And then the videos are going to be, depending if it's an in-depth review or a how-to, will range from 3 to 25 minutes, 30 minutes, depending if it's a full tutorial, maybe even an hour or so. And then the live streams, again, will be about 15 to 45 minutes. I call it espresso hour, so up to an hour worth of content. For the short term, I'm not going to focus on shorts for this for this portion of trying to remonetize the channel. Branding, I'm going to change the branding, slightly. I don't want to avoid I still want to ensure that the current subscribers, if you're watching, that you can still recognize that, yes, this is the same channel. And for my newer subscribers, the branding is slightly, I shouldn't say it's even different. It's just a little bit more clean, a little bit more polished, I would say. I think I had a lot more fun in the beginning, just to be creative and just be out there. I think there's still going to be some of those elements. It's, minor. I'd say minor. Other than that is kind of aligning the strategy with my goals. The reason why I'm doing a lot of this long form content, again, this podcast and the live stream, the power hour, the espresso hour, and the videos, is to kind of, to be as genuine and natural as possible, and not always like, hey, this is Ryan, and we're going to be talking about X, and we're going to be talking about Y, and this is why it works for me, and it may work for you. The goal is to get that watch hour count. I think it's important that it gives me an opportunity to be a little bit more thorough and really find you and other people, my audience, that are looking for that kind of speed. Am I going to have videos that are going to be really high energy and really short? Yes, 100%. There's going to be, when it comes to that video, or that one video a week, it could be a 5-minute video or a 2-minute video where I'm talking something specifically about a feature, or maybe it's productivity on Notion, or using AI to make productivity more efficient, like ChatGPT or Perplexity. Those are the two main AIs that I've been using as of late to help me with my 9 to 5, my videography, my business, as well as YouTube. So it kind of helps me with notes and be a little bit more polished and efficient, and help me avoid with ums and ahs and distractions during during a video where you just want to get more to the point in a structured video. And it's actually really helped me in some scripting, and also kind of taking a look at my notes as I go live. Again, each video, each podcast, each live stream is just giving me more and more experience to kind of streamline and get better and better. So if you're finding value so far, and you're just enjoying just the commentary of me speaking and fumbling through some of my words and ideas, please subscribe. You know what to do. Hit the like. And if you're on Apple Music or Spotify, make sure to add me to your favorites. So the goal also, again, is to really get into that monetization and kind of share some strategies, because there's certain steps that I do want to take where I kind of what made the channel dormant. When I got monetized, one of the things was I kind of reduced my effort on YouTube as I tried to build another business. And looking at 2025 and beyond, YouTube, regardless of any business, one that you're working for right now or building yourself, maybe you're an accountant or you're a marketer or you are an influencer, all those type of things, is only going to complement whatever you're doing. And that's something that was more of a realization last year. It's something I wasn't able to execute till now. I think it comes down to that one thing: just press record and learn from each video. And so I'm treating it like the hardest part for me right now, or I know what the hardest hurdle and challenge is going to be during this journey, is to get 100 new subscribers. And as each video gets released and more consistent, I truly believe that YouTube wants you to be successful. And I think I said this in some past episodes. YouTube is not pushing my content. It is finding my content and pulling what's best for viewers. And so I'm going to trust that is the focus and try to bring as much great value in the content that I give. And this one, like the podcast, is just an opportunity just to share my journey. So if that is something that you're into, and I hope you are, continue. Because as each week goes, I know some weeks are going to be terrible. Some weeks are going to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I think I want to quit. Because those are some feelings that I had getting to my first 100 subscribers in 2021. And then there's going to be times that are just absolutely amazing because we hit a video that really worked, or a video that really helped a lot of people. And I would say almost quote unquote evergreen, where it's a video that I don't necessarily need to remake, because there's going to be some videos that are just trending for that time. And there's some videos where this is evergreen because it's something that everyone's going to search all the time, getting into something specific. So it's going to be an exciting journey. I think there's a lot for me to learn, and maybe things for you to critique, laugh about, joke about, or maybe get angry about. I don't know. And it just reminds me about when I started YouTube. There was a friend of mine who was a professional photographer, and he didn't want to do YouTube. And I realized then, yes, everyone can do YouTube, just not everyone wants to do YouTube. He's a photographer, he's an entrepreneur. There's a lot of things that he can do with video, and he's got the skills. I mean, there's certain things that he can do better than I, even in my professional videography business, where people pay me to do certain things. And I know he can do some of those things a lot better. He may take longer, but I do know he can do it better, especially with the camera gear that he has and the experience that he has with lighting and color. And anyways, what I was getting at there is that as much as people are, hey, you know, that person is so good or that person is that, some people just don't like to be on camera and or want to be heard, and they're good behind the scenes. So if you are looking to get out of your comfort zone and you do have that calling or you have that itch to be in front of the camera and talk in front of a mic, follow along the journey. I really appreciate everyone that has logged in, that even listened to maybe 10 to 30 seconds of this podcast, but this journey is going to be ongoing. We are going to revitalize the Elev8 Project. And if you are interested in tech and productivity and you're a creator and you're working from home, definitely check out Elev8 Project on YouTube if you haven't already, and subscribe, like this content, add some comments. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And episode number 4, just taking a look at some notes, we'll be building some systems or sharing the systems that I have in place. If you want me to change that episode and there's something that you're interested in, please let me know in the comments or jump on to the Elev8 Project and send me a message. Until then, thank you so much. This is the Elev8 Project Podcast. I'm Ryan, and we'll catch you in the next one.